everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I am here with a design team project today for the Junk Journal Studio on Etsy. I will link down below in the description box all of the kits that I will be using today. This is all about her new kit, which is the Winter Bounty Kit. Now there are 3 kits in total involved in this huge kit. As usual, the Junk Journal Studio makes really enormously big kits, which are awesome. So I have just printed out a few pages, sort of a sampling from each of the different kits. So I will link all of them below, and you'll be able to peruse through on Etsy and sort of get a feel for what you like and what you might want to pick up. Now I'm also going to be using a couple other kits that are from the Junk Journal Studio as add-ons to what I'm doing today, and I'll show you why in a little bit. It's kind of a nice way to see how you can pair things up, you know, from different kits that you get. Because one thing I really like about the Junk Journal Studio is they basically make a lot of what I call like foundations. So, you know, fussy cut butterfly kit, fussy cut bird kit, you know, things like that can sort of keep you making, and you can print them again and again. You don't need to buy bird books because you've got birds, although don't hold me to it because if you've been here, you know me. And, you know, you've got butterflies. You don't need to keep buying them or, you know, cutting them out of books and all that kind of thing. So I have some butterflies from the Butterfly Fussy Cut Kit and birds from the Bird Fussy Cut Kit. So I will also link those below all of the Winter Bounty stuff so that you see them. So what I have printed is this beautiful page. We have birds here and a deer there. I've left the backs white because I want to make ephemera today. Now there's a lot of background type images in these kits, a lot of great neutrals that you could mix and match outside of winter, outside of, you know, a theme at all. Then this is another of the beautiful, more graphic images. There's also some really beautiful text. I always love these kind of old ledger and text type pages. And this one is kind of a blend of both of those kind of things. So you've got text, but you've also got some nice winter kind of feeling, you know, graphic there. So I got a little mix of things. So each of these kits has around 30 pages in them. So this is just a small sampling of what's possible. Another thing I want to do today, I'm kind of combining a lot of goals that I have in my videos these days. So one goal I have is to do a design team project. Another goal I have is to get to finally use this brand new Van Gogh Interrupting in Metallic watercolor set that I got. And another goal that I have is to use up things that I have thrifted to make ephemera with, which is a whole stack of these rose cards. So we're going to be using these as bases to create some fun swatch card ephemera. So I also want to bring in another fun idea, and that is when we create swatch cards, I'm going to put a little word snippet, like, you know how when you see a swatch, sometimes there's the color and then the name beneath it. I want to create names using a book page. So let me grab from my scrapbooks over here. My arms need to be a little longer. Okay, and we'll just see what kind of books I've got. This one might be the best. It's a heritage book. This is a book called How We Are Fed. It's all about like farming. Man of the Forest might be a little too small, and this one also may be a little small. I'm going to go with this one. It's a heritage book. It's like little quotes and things like that. So I think we'll be able to find some good stuff in here. So that will come later though. So the first thing I'm going to do is just bend this card down the center here, and I'll set the rest of them aside. We'll just work on a couple pieces at a time. Then just kind of tear it apart. Perfect. So I think I will begin now. Also, I need to spray these watercolors. So let's just take my water spray bottle here, and we'll just get these wet so they can kind of start to condition a little bit. Turn that solid paint into liquid paint. We'll just let it sit over here and relax for a while. Okay, just gonna get rid of some of that excess water. So let's pick a page. And I think I want to go first with this one. This will be a more graphic one. So what I'm going to do is just tear this page in half. Now, obviously, these are wonderful journal pages, but I want to show you something a little bit different that you can do if you don't want to make journal pages. You want to make ephemera. So just hold this down here like this to kind of get a good frame on what you might want to include on your piece. And that's what I want. So I'm going to just hold them together. Maybe tear this together. We'll see if this method works. Not particularly easy. Maybe I'll do it a little different. Yeah, well, I've got an edge here. That's all I really need. I just wanted to get in the right spot so that I know where I want to glue it down. I don't want to like miss, you know, the parts that I want here. So I don't have to worry too much about, oh no, is it straight? Because I've got this card, which is in fact straight. So it will kind of guide the process for me. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. Oh, and I shouldn't use this quote book as my glue book. Set it to the side, get my actual glue book, which is hidden beneath all of my stuff. Here it is. Okay. I only need 5 miles more of desk and then I'll be perfectly okay. All right. Put the glue book down. The little scrappy bits off of it. I've done so much work today. As you can see, I've got like so much paint in my hands. Okay. So put this down on top. Just give it a little rubby rub and scissors. Cut around here. And obviously you can use anything you want to create these journal cards. You can just really make the front face of the journal card and then back it after as you traditionally would. You don't have to use up cards like I am, but it does feel good to use things up, I gotta say. So then my first step, I think right now, I'm just going to ink the edges because I really want to make this a framed in kind of piece with a bit of a vintage feel to it. So we'll take some vintage photo. Okay, there's that. That's our base. So now I need to create some swatching. So let me get my water here. For some reason I have this giant water tonight. I should pour a little. Where's I have a little dropper. 1 second, I'll grab my dropper. Okay, little dropper here. Put water in right in this little channel. Okay. So now let's begin our swatching. So I'm going to start, I think, just with this silvery color. These are also great winter kind of colors, right? And I'm going to use this very, very pigmented. So you might not be able to see the silver too well. I know silver on white's kind of hard to see, but that's okay. Actually, I can see it. Now we'll go with a little of this gold. And some of this bronze. Then maybe I'll go into these interference colors a little. These are really icy. They'd probably be best on black, but they are kind of cool interference colors. So I just want to see what happens with a bit of water here. Yeah, and you can see that, I think. Perfect. Now come into this deep copper. one more color for this one. I think I'll go into the deeper silver too, just to sort of get a look at this. Okay, good. So we have done the main kind of swatch. So now what I'd like to do is just kind of let that dry for a minute and then grab a book page, okay? So grab your book where you feel like you might get some nice bits and bobs. So this is a seasonal heritage book. I'm in the February chapter, so I'm expecting there to be some words more than likely about winter, which is perfect because this is the Winter Bounty Kit. So I see the beautiful snow, so I think I'll take beautiful snow. That'll be the name of one of my colors. Cut it out here. So see, we have this little word snippet now that says beautiful snow. And I'm just going to grab my art glitter glue because that will allow me a little bit of careful kind of gluing. And I like it for that shimmery interference color. It's an interference violet. It's very icy. So I think based on how I've done this, I'm going to put the words above because I didn't leave a lot of space in between right here. So consider that, okay, when you're doing this. So that's for that one. Filling the sky and earth below. We could use earth for maybe this shade. So again, just this little earth. And that goes above again. Okay. Over the housetops, over the street, over the heads of the people you meet, dancing, flirting, skimming along, beautiful snow, it can do nothing wrong. Flying to kiss a fair lady's cheek. Fair lady could be nice for one of these, like the gold, but let's just see what else. Clinging to lips and frolicsome freak. Frolicsome would be a nice colorway too. Beautiful snow from the heavens above, pure as an angel, gentle as love. Oh, the snow, the beautiful snow, how the flakes gather and laugh as they go, whirling about in their maddening fun. It plays in its glee with everyone, chasing, laughing, hurrying by. It lights on the face and it sparkles the eye. And the dogs with a bark and a bound snap at the crystals that eddy around. The town is alive and its heart in a glow to welcome the coming of beautiful snow. That's by John Whitaker Watson. I think I'm going to grab in a glow. Yeah. Or possibly even heart in a glow. That could be kind of nice for that copper because if you think of it, right, it's a warm color. And heart in a glow is kind of a warm color way name, I think. Pop that here, heart in a glow. Okay. There's also the back side here. Momentous, that's a nice word. Burrows. Burrows would be nice, I think. Well, those two warm colors already have something. Groundhogs. Shadows. Shadows, that's good. Let's go with shadows as a colorway. For maybe that darker of the two silvers. I really love the creativity that you can find in word snippets. It's just a lot of fun. I'm actually doing for my January Patreon, for those who may be interested, I'm doing a word snippet based journals and ephemera. So it's going to be fun. Oh, and I just realized that gold. I still have that gold. Supreme happiness of life is always the conviction of love for yourself in spite of yourself. Okay. I think I'd like to call that gold, maybe momentous. Because gold is pretty momentous. There's usually something happening that's special when you have gold involved, right? Okay, so now we just have that lighter silver. Street over the street. That could be fun. Flakes gather. Sparkles. Sparkles the eye, or sparkles? Or it sparkles. Maybe it sparkles. That's kind of fun. There we go. I'm just gonna give a little press on top of these. If you notice any wrinkle in your paper, just press real quick on top. These are mostly dry now. It'll just help to lay that paper down. That's fine. Okay, so there is the first one. A lot of fun, right? It's a really fun journal card. It's very nice with the deer and, you know, shadows, momentous, earth, beautiful snow, heart in a glow, it sparkles. So yeah, that's a fun one. Okay, let's move on to, where's those birds? There they are. So let's sort out how we want to position this one. So I think I'll just tear off this edge here because that's the part that we don't want, the white edge. And then I will do the same thing here, just get this glued up on its shiny side that we don't want. Get our whole bird on there. Nope, lift. I got a little too far from the edge there. That's better. Okay. Just going to get rid of this page and we will smooth that down. And again, just ink around the edge. There we go. Okay. We have a nice big space to kind of work with on this one, and you know that in itself you can let yourself think about what you might want to do, how you might want to do it. I might grab this and this for splatters. These are black and gold. Just give them a little shaky. They're both inks. So let's start with one that we haven't used, maybe this lighter silver. And I wonder, maybe if we don't, maybe we'll blend a little of the colors together, make a new little color. Let's try that. It's kind of like a more of a nude, sparkly nude shade. Okay, then go with this nice gold again. And this time I'll leave enough space in between each of these so that I have room to put my words. I'm going to mix that in here. And then rinse my brush in this. Try to pick up a little of that interference color. Maybe a little gold. Just want to see how these kind of mix together, like what we end up with. This one here. Let's move up a little. That one's kind of pinky. I'm actually gonna go in with more of this on top of it because that's the interference violet. I'll rinse this brush off. Let's try a new interference color, this one. It's got like a greeny blue to it in the background. Very fun. And then I think we have room for one more color. Maybe a silver, because we haven't put a silver in yet. Okay. I want to see if can I use this dropper to spatter? No, it kind of blows. Oh, it does. It blows bubbles. Let's try that again. Ah, it dropped that time. That's okay. Let's see what these droplets can do. Wonder if we blow a bubble. It'll just sit there. That's funny. I'm just playing with ideas. You know me. If you've been here, you know I just like to mess around a little bit with my materials that I haven't used before. So that's those. Okay. So let's clean this out. Our dropper here. Sorry, you can probably hear it and you don't get to see what's happening with it. Okay. So now that we've done these drops, just need to poke that bubble. There we go. Poke all the bubbles. Come in with dots and dribbles. In a few more places. Just making it a little irregular and also using up the paint in the most wet spot, right? Pop that little bubble. It's kind of a nice way to just, you're adding more art to the art that's already there. Okay, so I'm going to dry this now with my heat gun, or heat tool rather. I'm just going to do it this way instead of blot because I don't want to pick up a lot of that ink and move it around. The nice thing with this kind of ink, this is Aqua Ink Graphics watercolor ink from Marabou, is it doesn't fly all around the page. Like, it's not going to spill everywhere. It kind of sits where you put it down. Like, it's not spreading. Just concentrating on like the wet areas. But I move the tool a little bit so we don't just like boil one spot of the ink too much. Okay, that should be good. Maybe right here, one more time. Okay, that's good. So now we can come in and find some words. I'm going to get a new page. Let's see, imaginative is nice, creative is nice. We could make those colorways, imaginative and creative. So let's cut out imaginative. And I guess, you know, I'm going to put it right on top at the bottom of the color. That's kind of a new and fun way to do things, right? Creative. I'd say the most creative color here for me is this one. That beautiful interference. Okay. Thinker, that's a nice one. You know, so we're kind of creating a little, kind of like a little theme. Learning, exploring. I think Thinker would be nice on that silvery tone. Years ago, people would rub out their writing with small chunks of India rubber, which were easily misplaced. To prevent this, Hyman L. Littman cemented a piece of rubber onto the top of a standard wood pencil. A simple yet brilliant idea. I'm going to use the word rubber, maybe. Or maybe not. Because we've created a little bit of a theme, do I have any more? Yeah, I think I'll use kind of words like that fall into the same sort of theme, that we're like talking about an adventure sort of, or like we're explaining something. So fascinated is a good one. I'll use that one on this. And then I've got here glowing, which is perfect. And I can tell you that this is a really relaxing activity. If you're feeling a little bit like you need a little break from things and you just want to make little stories on little journal cards with playing with your colors, you're swatching. Swatching is very relaxing. Light bulb inside a tube. Flashlight. We've already got creative, right? Yes. Successful inventors follow the most important principle. Give people something that they don't have. Let's look over here. Bitterest. Peace and rest. All the days long toil is past, and each heart is whispering, home, home at last. Which one? Which word? I'm going to say bitterest. Copper could be bitter if we think about it. Thinking about all the times as a kid that I put a penny you know, in my hands, held pennies in my hands, and then, you know, you put your fingers in your mouth as a kid and you taste that bitter copper. So I think that makes sense. Bitterest. So we have imaginative, glowing, bitterest, thinker, creative, and fascinated. And those little birds and these blotchies that just really kind of go nicely with those lovely bits of foliage that are here. So here's a nice kind of close-up of that. Okay, so that's those two finished. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay, then next I'll take like more of a background, I guess. Whoopsie. You know what I really would like to try though, is this one. So let's just do all this over again here. Get the edges off. And I need to rip another card in half. Needs to be about that wide. Get rid of all of this black that was there, and then cover this up with glue. Okay, give that a nice smooth out. And I think I will do the same thing with ink on this one. Obviously you can use any other color that you like. Black would be nice. You could use some gilding wax in silver or gold around the edges. Obviously you can stitch these, whatever you like. All right, so how do I translate this into a swatch card? I've got a couple ideas. Let me see, these are archival ink. I'm going to use this graphic too, and I'm going to create kind of a free form swatch grid. Just with kind of overlapping and slightly messy, but not too messy, lines like in these squares. Kind of like what double stitching can look like when you go around stitching a couple times, just overlapping it a little funny. Maybe one more here. Okay, so now we have something that we can fill in. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start here. And I'm using the archival ink because it's not going to run in my watercolor, my shades that I have here. If you used a water-based pigment, it would run, which would make everything kind of messy. A little more water. Okay, that should be good. I haven't used this one yet. And on this blue, I'm really seeing those interference colors separating and doing their interference thing. So for this one, I'm not even going to use any word snippets to create my colors. I'm totally happy with how that swatch card looks. So let's make another one. So glad these are digitals. This page would be really hard for me to cut up if it were out of a book. It's such a beautiful forest. I sometimes get that, like, I must keep this sanctity of like exactly how this thing was made. So it's nice to have digitals because then you don't have to be so precious. You can kind of play and not feel guilty about like cutting things up. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink this one. I feel like I'm kind of making like a little collection here of these, so I just want to ink them all similarly, even though they probably will all go into separate journals and things. It's okay. And just press it out here. Now I'm going to come in with, I think, a nice kind of generous swatching with the interference colors as the focus on this one. No guidelines either, like nothing that we're filling in. I'm going to clean the brush between each color because these are very different. But that blue is really going to bring them out. And I think it's picking up. I think you can see on camera the colors. This is my second type of interference watercolor that I have. The other is the Gansai Tambi. And they're quite different from one another, which is nice. These are more pearlescent. I am a bit of a watercolor addict, to be honest. I love watercolors. Okay. Oh, so pretty. And then for a last one, I'm just going to use the light silver, I think that would go nicely with those. So the funny thing is the subtleness of this, right? I just think on its own it's effective. I don't feel the need to take any word snippets to create those. I just like this as is. So let's move on to another of the papers. Get my card here. And this is where we're going to use some fun fussy cuts to make another interesting kind of a swatch card. So, as noted, this lovely collection has lots of more neutral and like text type papers. So I think that's what we're going to go do next here. Maybe let's do this blue one. This blue one's beautiful. Let's just lay that down. You could obviously cut these into tags. I think because I'm doing swatch cards, I feel like I want it to be in a card shape. It's just something about the geometry of doing swatching that I like. So now we're going to plan around fussy cuts and see what we want to do here. So again, we'll just lay that down. Pick up this paper that's a little sticky. Okay, there we go. Now, let's look at some of these lovely bits here. So first, I think butterfly or bird. Maybe bird first. Try to find which. Oh, I like that bird. That's a gorgeous bird. So I think Right in the center there would be quite nice. Now I need to get my gyro cut so that I can cut out the little inside bits that I don't want. There's not huge bits on this one, just little ones. Okay. There we go. And then I think I just want to put that right in the center as so. Yeah. And I know we'll lose a little bit of the tail, but that's completely fine because it doesn't matter. He's there to be decorative. Okay. Get rid of this sticky bit. Keep as much of that as I can with the angle I use. Perfect. Then we'll clip off that excess bit and just ink. We'll ink here. Probably could have inked him beforehand, but that's fine. He's down. Now we'll come in with our swatches. You can also, you know, if you like swatching, but you're feeling like I want to do mark making, you can kind of combine those things in this way. Like swatching is fun, but mark making is also fun. So here's kind of a more mark making, but using the same method as swatching. I'll do a more traditional swatch with the other one, but this one I just think that this copper is particularly nice here with the blue. A little water. Maybe one more up here. Okay, so there's that. Mark making in a swatchy way. Now, let's clean our brush. The other card here. Guessing that these were like wedding invitations or something. Okay, we'll trim this off. And this will go right into my scraps because these are excellent collage scraps for making collage boards, or, you know, you need little snippets of text. Okay, so let's ink this one. Okay, so now I want to use some butterflies, and these butterfly colors are so delightful. 1, 2, 3, like so. I'm going to do that, but first I want to ink the edges of these. I kind of kiss cut them. And there's a whole rainbow of butterflies in the Butterfly Fussy Cut collection, and loads more birds in the bird collection. I took a sampling of them just because I wanted some fussy cuts to pair these background papers with. But I will be probably making more videos where I do more design team type projects, and these will act as like add-ins to that original kind of concept. So what I want to do here is just glue down the center, like so. So these butterflies still can kind of have a little bit of bounce to them. And then line them up. Now the swatching, we're going to assign a color to each of these. So, whoops, put this brush back together. I think I'm going to go with a nice like rich gold for the first one. I think we need to get this wet again. That's better. So you have options, and what I'm thinking is I want to create like a bit of an outline around, kind of rounded like that. You see like a rounded rectangle? Then just come and fill it in. So it's a nice big swatch of the color. Maybe add a little over here. And then the top here. Little bits around the bottom. And then over on this corner. And then just kind of maybe lift it a little and put a little back here just so that it's covered. Okay, so that is your first swatch, and you can kind of neaten it up a little more like so. Make it a little sharper. And then this could stand to be a little straighter. And obviously you can also come in and add a little detail like this on top of your butterfly to kind of put the color, make it, you know, be a part of the butterfly that way. So next I think I'll go with this maybe this silver. And I'll come here and just fill in here. Okay, across. And it's kind of nice to just do each little bit one at a time, and then you've only got to worry about like tracing one part at a time. So then you come over here. I'll probably even these out, because it gives me a little sampling of the color over here. I get a little more. Such a pretty silver. And then again, you can come in here and we can add a couple little spots to match those black spots that are up here, but it will be in the color that we've swatched with. And then maybe copper on the bottom. That is a strong copper. So let's kind of go across here, over here. And it looks really great with that green because it kind of takes you to that, you know, tarnished copper feel. And I'm using these quite highly pigmented with not a ton of water, but obviously you can watercolor in whatever way you want. I usually use a lot more water when I'm like actually doing a watercolor painting, but this is kind of more of a decorative technique. Okay. A little more, get a little water too. Just filling it all in here, and then take a look and kind of neaten it up. There we go. Just a little more spot to fill in here. Then we can decide, maybe we want to put a dot there, here, here, here. Okay. So just give me 2 seconds to clean up and I'll show you all the different kind of swatch cards that we made. Okay, so here is our little group of swatch cards using these beautiful Winter Bounty digitals. So here are the 2 where we use the word snippets as the color names. Then here are the 2 where we use that lovely blue ledger, and we brought in some fussy cuts also from the studio in birds and butterflies. This one is more mark making via swatching, and this is more of a swatching where we assign a color and we add some details to match. And then our 2 foresty ones where we use those interference watercolors that are all pearlescent and sparkly with a little bit of a, whimsical guide and with no guide at all. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. Completely love them. And I think I'll probably end up making more with the rest of the things that I've cut out. So thank you so much for joining me. I really had fun with this one. Please definitely check the links below to the Junk Journal Studios Etsy shop where she sells these amazing digitals. Like I said, the kits are far bigger than this. This is just a little tickling, a little sampling, if you will. So yeah, lots to play with in these kits. So thanks for joining me. We will talk again soon. Don't forget to subscribe and have a lovely day. Bye for now.